Keith Flach completes a dream weekend. X marks the spot at the Fulton Speedway. Fast Eddie goes in the pits with a modified legend. Sit back, have a snack, Race Pro Weekly starts now. Welcome to another sensational edition of Race Pro Weekly. I'm your host, Mike Warren. Let's get it started as we head to the high banks first. Only 2 weeks remaining in the modified division at Lebanon Valley as the Superior Seamless Gutters 87X of Paul Gilardi would lead the field to the green in a 30-lap modified feature event. Early in the event, Keith Flach and Brian Berger would race for position. Kyle Shelton, who's been fast all year, continued to make his way up through the field in the early going in the event. Flach would get by the 87X of Gilardi early in the race and would lead for a long time as Kyle Sheldon would go to the inside of Kyle Hoffman. He'd take the number 3 spot away, and in the ensuing corner, he would get by the 60 of Brian Berger for the number 2 spot. The Jersey Jet, Brett Hearn, your current high point man, on the move once again as he'd make a bid to the inside of Marshall. Meanwhile, the 98 of Colby Schroeder having something going miss on the car. The Key Interiors LLC 98S machine, that would end his night. That would bunch up the field as on the restart, Kyle Sheldon going to try to make a move to get by the 77J of Flach. This was his best chance right here as he ducked to the inside of Flach, but Flach shuts the door off of turn number 4 as he make his way down the front stretch again as your race leader. Keith Flach would hold on and pick up his first win at the Valley since 2008.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough year. We made the decision to run his number this year. And that was probably hurting us a little bit. We've had fast cars. There were a couple nights where I just overdrove it and got in trouble a couple times. I'll be the first to admit that. Last night the team's been working all year to try to get us going better and fighting back. And things fell into place last night, fell into place tonight with being able to start towards the front a little bit. I mean, that always helps. So, to get 2 wins in 2 nights after not winning in a couple years is just awesome.
The Ravina Rocket goes to victory lane. Kyle Sheldon with another strong run finishing second. Brett Hearn finishing third. Eddie Marshall fourth. And Kenny Tremont Jr. finishing in the top 5. Big block modified feature at the Fulton Speedway getting started as Chad Phelps would lead the field to the green as they made their way down the back straightaway for the first time. Jim Whitko trying to make his way around as he tries to go to the inside of Dan Vowder for that early position as they make their way up into turn number 1 and 2 once again. Lightning Larry White, who's been nothing short of sensational lately, going to make a move to the outside lane. So he tried to fire around Whitko on the outside lane, and he would look to get him. Pat Ward also there as well, but then a battle up the front was going to ensue as Ryan Phelps would make a bid to the outside of Chad as he would take the race lead in the Napa Auto Parts car number 99 machine. The Phelps family going to work as the top 2 running for position is Chad on the inside, Ryan on the outside, as Ryan getting the jump there as they head towards the closing stages. However, Chad would get back in front of him. One last shot by Ryan wasn't going to be good enough as Chad Phelps picks up the win at Fulton.
This is a good way to finish a night and get all that bad luck behind us and good for the end of the year and go forward to these bigger races.
Top 5 in the modifieds, Chad Phelps picking up the win. Ryan Phelps finishing in second, the Genoa Giant Pat Ward third, Tim Sears Jr. fourth, and Lightning Larry White rounding out your top 5. It's now time for this week's Facebook fan poll question. What is your favorite home track and what makes it so special? Log on to our Facebook page to cast your answer at www.facebook.com/RaceProWeekly. Answers will be read on next week's show. Last week's question was, do you miss the 200 lappers that many tracks used to have at the end of the year? Yes, emphatically 86% over no at 14%. Here's some of the answers that we had. Pat Ager says, yes, I miss the 200 Lebanon Valley. The Race of Kings was on Saturday and the 200 Sunday. Used to bring all the big guns from the Northeast. Jim Nichols says, absolutely not. Who wants to watch Andy Bicchetti lead for 100 laps? No disrespect, just boring. Cassie Lynn Stetzel says Roland Wheels should have their 200 lapper with the drivers making pit stops in the infield. That race was always good. And Dave Bayless says yes, Lebanon Valley needs to bring back the Race of Kings September race.
Sayers Auto Wrecking Incorporated is a towing service and an auto salvage yard. We offer 24-hour roadside assistance and damage-free towing. Our wreckers are radio dispatched for your convenience, and we're AAA approved for your peace of mind. On the auto salvage side, we pay top dollar for junk vehicles and sell a wide variety of used auto parts. We also buy scrap metals, including aluminum, copper, steel, and brass. You can learn more about all we do by calling Sayers Auto Wrecking today at 413-358-4374.
Racing's biggest party is coming. Not just Dirt Week, the Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week, October 9th through the 13th at New York State Fairgrounds. Be there as the Triple 20s light up the fairgrounds Friday night. Sunday's 200-lap Super Dirt Car big blocks on the Movie Mile. Modified sprint cars and late models, all part of the 5 Super Days of Dirt Track Racing. 5 days, thousands of laps. Get your tickets and event info now at SuperDirtWeekOnline.com. It's one party you won't want to miss. Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week, October 9th through the 13th. There's only one Super Dirt Week.
Looking back at this past weekend in racing, Keith Flach pulled off the dream weekend, picking up a win on Friday night at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway in one of the Triple 20s and the feature event on Saturday night. This is big for Flach as these are the first 2 times that he has crossed the line in the 77J in honor of his late brother, J.C. Flach.
It's just big to come off of something like last year, you know what I mean, and find a little bit of success late in the season. You know, like I said, it's been a tough year, you know, mentally and with the racing and stuff, so to be able to do that, it's just everyone was ecstatic, everyone was emotional, and it was just good to get there, finally.
Kyle Sheldon with another great run at the Lebanon Valley Speedway this past weekend with a big second-place finish. Sheldon has been on fire as of late, and this is his best season so far.
The car was so good. I've never been in a car that was so damn good. And that long stretch, that long green flag, it was just better and better and better. And, you know, earlier in the race when I got to second, I came out of the corner, I couldn't even see the leader. And then we caught him, and the car was just so great. But there's that fine line where you run hard and then you run too hard. And I got a little too excited and got into turn 3 a little too hard, kissed the wall. But we were still able to salvage the second place.
The main event of the evening at the D-shaped Dirt Demon would get started as the Iceman. Dan Vowler would look to take the race lead up into turn number 1 and 2, and he'd have it as they came around to complete lap number 1. Larry White would be on the move as Tim Sears Jr. would be as well, as White already up into the number 3 spot early as Chad Phelps and Tim Sears Jr. would fight for the race lead up into turn number 1 and 2. White would close on the back bumper, actually get a piece of the back bumper at Chad Phelps' machine. Then the 3-wide battle would continue as Sears would go to the front, Phelps and White all digging to try to get to that top spot in the early going of the feature event. As they continue to make a move, White would move into second, getting by the exit Chad Phelps, and then try to go to work on Sears Jr. on the inside. Phelps would still try to dust off the top side to get by White, but it would be to no avail, as White would get right back by him on the next lap. White this time going to find some power as he tries to shoot up the electricity in the Gypsum Express car number 99L machine as he powered to the outside lane off of turn number 3 and 4 and take the lead on lap number 23. White would hold on to this one for the moment as Jimmy Phelps looking to make his way to the outside of the 83 of Sears. He would take the number 2 spot away as they head down the back straightaway, but it would be to no avail as Lightning Larry White continues his hot streak with the win at the Brewerton Speedway.
Just an awesome car. I could put it wherever I wanted, and the corner speed is just phenomenal with this thing.
Lightning Larry White picking up another victory. Jimmy Phelps finishing in second, Tim Sears Jr. third, Pat Ward fourth, and Ryan Phelps rounding out the top 5. Top full fender division at the Lebanon Valley Speedway getting it started here in the Pro Stocks as Frank Twing and Milo Campbell would lead them up into turn number 1 and 2 in the early going. They'd almost get through clean and green, but the caution at the rear of the field would slow them up very quickly. On the restart, Robbie Speed would be the car on the move as you see him make a great move to the inside of Jason Casey and Nick Hill as he make his way up through the field. Robbie Speed would continue to work hard as he'd get to the inside of the 23 of Chuck Towsley and look to take the number 3 spot away. Twing would then go to the inside of the 81 of Milo Campbell. He'd take the number 1 spot away. Speed will follow, and so will Towsley. Coming down the front straightaway, point leader Jay Corbin running hard with Chuck Towsley. As they make their way into the corner, they'd make a little bit of contact as there would be trouble on the 8 car of Corbin and the 23 of Towsley when the caution ensued, which would bring the field to a restart. On the restart, the 317 of Frank Twing would lead him all the way as Corbin tried to make his way back in, but the checker flag would be out. Frank Twing picks up win number 1 in 2013.
You know, it feels good to be able to run with them guys at all. You know, they put a lot of time and a lot of money in their cars, and, you know, we don't have a lot of money in our car. And, you know, a lot of determination and a lot of will. and that's what gets us here. You know, we just work hard, and this is what we want.
Top 5 in the Pro Stock division was Frank Twing, Robbie Speed, Jason Casey 3rd, Jake Corbin 4th, and Victor Hopkins rounding out the top 5. Throughout recent seasons in dirt car racing, there is always one driver that has a breakthrough series, whether it be at a weekly track or the Super Dirt Car Series. This year is no different as Watertown's machine gun Billy Dunn has been dominating the ranks of the Mohawk International Speedway and is in a heavy point battle at Canandaigua.
We chatted with you last week. We had a great talk, and you were second in points at that point, but then a few things kind of happened last week, and you took over the lead. How you feeling about tonight?
You know, same as last week. We just got to not really think about the points right now. There's still 2 weeks left. Next week's double points, so as far as I know. And, you know, still a lot of racing left, and Matt had some bad luck last week, and we could have some tonight. We just got to keep doing what we've been doing. We've been fast. I thought we had a car that was capable of winning last week, just kind of ran out of laps. So, you know, just keep trying to get to the front.
So take us through last week a little bit with what happened.
We started off the race a little slow, which probably was a good thing. Whatever, I don't know what happened on that restart, but a lot of good cars got tangled up in it. You know, after about 5 or 6 laps during the race, we really got run the bottom really good, and you know, started picking them off one at a time, and just was patient and ran out laps at the end. But 3rd place was good. I think we got a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd the last 3 weeks here. So, you know, we're just keeping ourselves in the points battle, and as long as we can have a shot at it after tonight, that's all I can ask for.
Now, you mentioned last week, I'm going to put you on the spot here. You mentioned last week off camera that you don't love the double points. Tell us why that is.
Even if like I said last week when I was second in points, if I had my choice, the last night wouldn't be double points. The only person that can hurt is the guy leading the points. So either way, I would rather have it myself settle down to regular points tonight, just like every other night all year.
The late models at the Fulton Speedway would run a special 50-lap race where Rick Miller would take the lead from Aaron Backus on lap number 10, and not even a late race caution would put Dale Caswell on the back bumper would be enough, as Miller would go on to stop Caswell's streak. A.J. Kingsley would finish in 2nd, Dale Caswell would have to hold on for 3rd, Alan Fink finishing 4th, and Brandon Ford rounding out the top 5. Other winners on the night at the Fulton Speedway were James Carlson in the novice Sportsman, Alan Fink in the Mod Lights, and Chuck Kowalczyk in the 4 cylinders.
Everybody jump in the car. We won't have to travel far.
To do the go-karts, the bunker boats, the big shot basketball,
and climb the rock wall.
Funplex is our favorite place. Put the groovy smile on your groovy face.
Bring your family and friends, bring everyone. It's more than just fun, it's Funplex.
Pollinators are out in full force, helping our ecosystem. But in and around your home, they can ruin your summer. Flowers close to your home can attract bees, hornets, and wasps. Your garbage can also attract swarms. Bees and wasps can easily nest in eaves, shutters, and any covered awning. Most likely they'll nest on the side of the house that gets the most sun. So call Cat's Eye, unless you actually like getting stung. For more information or to schedule your free inspection, go to catseyepest.com.
Want the full racing action from Lebanon Valley Speedway? Check out Bob Haynes in the Metro Media video booth at the track, as well as his website, www.metmedvid.com. That's www.metmedvid.com. With Super Dirt Week 42 on the horizon coming up Columbus Day weekend, everybody is starting to get ready for the big event.
I'm sure everybody's heard the name in around the Super Dirt Car Series this year, but Mike Soul from Soul Trailer Repair has now come on board to make Super Dirt Week even bigger, and is the title sponsor of Friday Night Under the Lights. So Friday night now can be referred to as Soul Trailer Repair or STR Trailer Repair Friday Night Lights at the New York State Fairgrounds.
What we're going to do is there will not be a mandatory pit stop in the 200. It'll go back to being a straight-through race, but it'll be more like a series race in which we won't count cautions in the last 25 laps. We've allowed teams in the last 50 laps of the race the option of putting on the 400. Well, we're going to give them that option throughout the event, all the way around the car. We haven't seen any significant tire wear or seen anything that would indicate any reason we can't do that. We're looking forward to giving the Sportsman the opportunity to race under the lights. Last year, with Mother Nature and her fickle hand of cards that she dealt, we were forced to look at some things differently, and some racers were not afforded the ability to participate fully in the event. So we've added those triple 10-lap races to try and give everyone the opportunity to have a chance to at least partake in the race on the mile.
IMCA modifieds at the Brewerton Speedway got started as James Walsh and Dane Keller would lead them up into turn number 1 and 2 as Keller would take the lead off of the second corner. Three-wide battle off of turn number 3 and 4 with Keller leading, but right behind him would come Rob Keller looking to make a bid for the race lead. As they head up into turn number 1 and 2, point leader Kevin Cook's going to make a spin in turn number 1. That'll bring out the caution. Cook would quickly get back up as you see him go to the inside of Chris Fleming trying to get the number 2 spot. He would take that away and continue his way up towards the front. He would then make a bid on the race leader, the number 21 of Rob Keller, as the 3X machine continued to make his way up into the top spot. He tried to make the pass on the inside lane as they run side by side for the battle. Coming around to the halfway point, Kevin Cook would be your race leader after the early race incident. Kevin Cook would come around, he'd lead him once again. He'd pick up the win in the IMCA modifieds at the Brewerton Speedway. Kevin Cook picks up the win, Chris Fleming finishing in second, Rob Keller third, Jason Amadon fourth, and Dane Keller Jr. rounding out the top 5. Other winners on the night at the Brewerton Speedway were Joe Isabel in the mod lights, and in the 4-cylinder super stocks, Chuck Kowalczyk. Sportsman division was the nightcap on the card at the Lebanon Valley Speedway as the field would come to the green flag in the early going of the event. As you can see, the 1 and the 20, Tyler Dipple and Matt Papa looking to make their way up through the field early as car's going to bustle for position. Josh Gaylord going to make his way by, and Brandon Pitcher going to hit the outside wall hard. That's going to bring the field to a caution early. Matt Papa would be on the move as he get by the 82 of Brian Peterson and the 710 of Greg Catlin. He'd go underneath Cody Oakes and grab that position as well. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Tyler Dipple would be on the move as he looked to get to the inside of the 27 of Josh Gaylord for the race lead. As he made their way up into turn number 1 and 2, he'd get him as they come around to turn number 4. He would have the lead early in the event as Tyler Dipple looked to continue his dominance. Dipple would make his way around for the final time as he was unpressured throughout the entire event as Tyler Dipple wins the Sportsman feature at the Valley.
Tonight, it was just, I got to the front quick, which helped. The car was set up. I think we were just overthinking it, and we just went back to the way we had the car, and it was just a rocket. It was just fast. The bottom lane, I like to run that. I prefer that. I had a lot of grip down there, so the track was good.
Tyler Dipple picking up the win, Matt Papa finishing in second, Tommy Johnson third, Ray Hall Jr. fourth, and Josh Gaylord finishing fifth. Pure Stock winners on the night. Matt Cross picked up the win in feature number 1, Jay Casey in feature number 2, and Pure Stock feature number 3 going to John Filarecki. It's now time to take a look at our weekend battles. Up on the asphalt at Airborne, Todd Stone picking up the win, Patrick Dupree finishing in second, Leon Gagno third, Jesse Mueller fourth, and George Foley crossing the line fifth. Triple 20s were held at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway. In the first one, Jamike Soule picked up his second career victory. Jimmy Cottrell will finish in second, Brian Gleason third, Jeremy Wilder fourth, and Bodie Bellinger fifth. In feature number 2, it was the Ravenna Rocket Keith Flach getting the win, Mark Johnson finishing second, Kenny Tremont third, Matty D fourth, and Don Rocca in fifth. In the third and final Triple 20, Stuart Friesen picked up his first win on the Malta Oval this year. Jimmy Cottrell would finish second. He would be the overall winner on the night. Ronnie Johnson would finish third, Mark Johnson fourth, and Neil Stratton rounds out the top 5. At the Land of Legends, Super Matt Shepard picking up the win, Justin Ayers finishing second, Machine Gun Billy Dunn third, Steve Payne fourth, and Danny Johnson rounding out the top 5. At the Ridge, it was Bobby Varon picking up the win, Elmo Reckner finishing second, Craig Hansen third, Bobby Vetter fourth, and the Silver Bullet, Bob Savoy, finishing fifth. At the Mohawk International Raceway, it was Chris Robb picking up the victory, Kerry Terrance finishing second, Mario Claire third, Brian McDonald fourth, and Zach Albertine coming home fifth. At Orange County, it was Craig Mitchell picking up the win, Steve Dodd finishing second, Jerry Higbee third, Tim Heinley fourth, and Billy Van Inwagen rounding out the top 5. At the Ransomville Speedway, Brian Sage picked up his first career victory. Scott Kerwin finished in second, Chad Brockman third, Pete McNeil fourth, and Eric Rudolph rounding out the top 5. At Gene Cole's Utica Rome Speedway, Jimmy Davis picked up the victory. Pat Ward finished in second, Stuart Friesen third, Mike Mahaney fourth, and Superman crossing the line fifth. This week's Lasting Impressions driver spotlight is with Sportsman competitor Beth Schneider. Roof is Done Right Incorporated. Our name says it all for all your commercial and residential roofing needs. Call 518-382-ROOF. The Choices 301 program takes a multifaceted approach aimed at educating the public about the realities and dangers of what can happen when bad decisions are made inside a motor vehicle. Don't hesitate to designate. If you are a tracker series that would like to be highlighted on Race Pro Weekly, email us at show@raceproweekly.com. The Jersey Jet Brett Hearn will go down as arguably one of the greatest modified drivers to step in a race car. As he completes a season where 2 championships are a possibility once again, Fast Eddie catches up with the Jersey Jet.
Brett, you have a top 10 record this year of over 80%. What's been the key to consistency so far this year?
I think just driving the car within its capability and having a good consistent setup and a good consistent car, and just working hard on maintenance and stuff like that. And I got to give that credit to my crew.
When you take a look at your record book, you've won at 49 speedways. Is there any one racetrack where you see on the schedule and go, why do we have to go there?
Yeah, I've eliminated a few of those actually in the last couple of years. When we decided to cut our schedule back a little bit, do some other things, and I eliminated some of the tracks I really didn't care for that much, and just run the ones that I like.
Over 800 career victories. When you first got started in this, did you ever think you'd be where you are today?
Yeah, I didn't really think I'd be around, still doing this, especially at this level, this long. So, I'm thrilled that, I don't have to work a regular job yet.
Do you think 1,000 career victories is a possibility?
I would say 900 is a possibility. 1,000, not sure.
We take a look this year. There's a second 20 car in the pit area. You've been helping out Matt Papa. Tell us a little about that.
Well, Matt is a champion in another class, and I knew he had some good talent. So when I was approached to perhaps field a car for him, I thought that might be a good fit for our company and for our team, and it's worked out really well. I mean, for him to be in his rookie year, he's sitting second in points at the Valley, having won 3 novice races, then won his first Sportsman race at Malta. I think it's been a great year for him. Of course, it's been a learning curve, and this is not the kind of sport where you just come out of the box, and regardless of the technology that you have, because everyone pretty much has the same cars. Regardless of that, it's not the kind of sport that you go in there and beat somebody who's got 3-4 years experience right off the bat. So there's things to be learned, but we're making good progress with it, real good progress.
You take a look, guys like Kenny Tremont Jr. you're raced with week in, week out, 2-3 nights a week. What is it like to race against guys like him?
Well, I think that, for the most part, the guys that run here on a weekly basis, the guys that run at Malta on a weekly basis, these are all drivers that have a lot of experience. There aren't too many rookies. I mean, there's some young guys now here in the modified class at the Valley, but they're good, and you can race with them. They'll hold their line. They don't do too many things that are really stupid. I mean, so, it's weekend racing. Weekend racing's tough. I mean, it doesn't reward consistency because consistency starts you 15th every week, and that kind of sucks. Let's face it. But winning the championships is part of the big picture for us, which is the Super Dirt Series crown, and so we got to take the good with the bad.
Is there anything else as you look at towards the end of your career here? Anything else that you hope to get done before you're finished racing?
No, I just want to be a champion. I just want to be as long as I can be good at it, and as long as I can be a champion, and stay physically fit. There's, we'll continue to do different things with the company, whether it be on the fabrication side, helping other teams, building cars, mentoring young drivers and fielding cars for other drivers like that, like we have this year. We'll look at all those options, and it's all part of the big picture.
You've gotten into the management side of this the last couple of years, promoting the big show at Orange County and now at Albany-Saratoga. Any plans to expand on that?
Well, again, it depends on the opportunity. It depends on the situation. I mean, if I was presented with a good situation, opportunity that I thought would make sense, I would jump at it. But so all those things are sort of like they're all out there, and we enjoy doing all of them. But to say that one would be where I'm headed would be a lie, because I really have no idea.
That's all for this week's show. For the latest news, results, and photos, check out Race Pro Weekly online, www.raceproweekly.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So for myself, Matt Knowles, Fast Eddie, Scott Morlock, Dave Whitney, Dave Del Sandro, and everyone that helps put Race Pro Weekly together, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next time.